Ferruccio Lamborghini, April 28, 1916 to February 20, 1993, was an Italian automobile designer, soldier, inventor, mechanic, engineer, winemaker, industrialist, and businessman who created Lamborghini Trottery in 1948 and the Automobili Lamborghini in 1963, a maker of high-end sports cars in Sant'Agata Bolognese. Born to grape farmers in Rinazzo, from the commune municipality of Cento, in the Emilia-Romagna region, his mechanical know-how led him to enter the business of tractor manufacturing in 1948, when he founded Lamborghini Trottery, which quickly became an important manufacturer of agricultural equipment in the midst of Italy's post-World War II economic boom. In 1959, he opened an oil burner factory, Lamborghini Bruciatore, which later entered the business of producing air conditioning equipment. Lamborghini founded a fourth company, Lamborghini Dinamica, in 1969 after creating Automobili Lamborghini in 1963. Lamborghini sold off many of his interests by the late 1970s and retired to an estate in Umbria, where he pursued winemaking. Early life. Ferruccio Lamborghini. Ferruccio Lamborghini was born on April 28, 1916 to viticulturists Antonio and Evelina Lamborghini in house number 22 in Rinazzo di Cento, in the province of Ferrara, in the Emilia-Romagna region of northern Italy. According to his baptismal certificate, Ferruccio was baptized as a Roman Catholic 4 days later, on May 2. As a young man, Lamborghini was drawn more to farming machinery rather than the farming lifestyle itself. Following his interest in mechanics, Lamborghini studied at the Fratelli Taddei Technical Institute near Bologna. In 1940 he was drafted into the Italian Royal Air Force, where he served as a mechanic at the Italian garrison on the island of Rhodes, territory of the Kingdom of Italy since 1911, after the Italo-Turkish War, becoming the supervisor of the vehicle maintenance unit. When the Germans turned on their former Italian allies in September 1943, most soldiers either fled or were among the 30,000 Italians captured as prisoners of war. Lamborghini initially escaped capture but later returned to his former workplace in civilian clothes, working several odd jobs, and with the permission of the German forces opened a small vehicle workshop. When the island fell to the British at the end of the war in 1945, he was arrested as a collaborator, and was not able to return home to Italy until the following year. In 1946, he married Clelia Monti, a native of Ferrara whom he had met in Rhodes during the war in the Church of Santa Maria in Vado in Ferrara. On October 13, 1947, their son Tonino was born, but Clelia died giving birth. In 1948, Lamborghini met Annetta Borgatti, a 24-year-old teacher and daughter of the owners of the Fontana Hotel in Cento, who would accompany him in running his businesses for over 30 years. Lamborghini's passion for engines and machines led him to work in a company that overhauled military vehicles. During World War II, he found the opportunity to experiment with his mechanical skills as a repair technician at the 50th Mixed Motor Unit, a military base in Rhodes in the Italian Dodecanes. In 1946, the growing demand for tractors in the Italian market, combined with the experience gained in repairs, pushed Lamborghini to pursue a career as an entrepreneur in the production of tractors. He bought surplus military vehicles from the war and transformed them into agricultural machines. After World War II, Lamborghini opened a garage in Pieve di Cento. Lamborghini modified an old Fiat Topolino he had purchased, the first of many that he would own over the years, and in his spare time he made tractors which would be the first Lamborghinis he would make. He made use of his mechanical abilities to transform the homely city car into a roaring 750 cubic centimeters open-top two-seater and entered the car in the 1948 Mille Miglia. His participation ended after 1,100 kilometers 680 miles when he ran the car into the side of a restaurant in the town of Fiano, in Turin. Beginnings of entrepreneurship. In 1947, Ferruccio Lamborghini recognized an emerging market in post-war Italy devoted to agricultural and industrial revitalization. Using parts from military vehicle engines and differentials from ARAR centers, Lamborghini built the first of his Carioca tractors, themselves based on the 6-cylinder petrol engines of Morris trucks. As petrol in Italy was prohibitively priced, Lamborghini augmented the Morris engines with a fuel atomizer of his own creation, which allowed the tractors to be started with petrol, then switch to the cheaper diesel fuel. Based on the initial success of the Carioca, Lamborghini founded Lamborghini Trottery and began manufacturing tractors. Involvement with boats. A Riva Aquarama Lamborghini was registered and delivered on June 7, 1968 to Lamborghini. The boat was the first and only one fitted with 2 Lamborghini engines, and it had a special side railing for holding onto during water skiing and record attempts. The engine compartment was modified to fit the engines and a special open exhaust was built to meet Lamborghini's demands. He owned the boat for over 20 years until July 1988, when he sold it to Angelo Merli, a close friend. Involvement with automobiles. Lamborghini's increasing wealth allowed him to purchase faster, more expensive cars than the tiny Fiats he had tinkered with during his youth. He owned cars such as Alfa Romeos and Lancias during the early 1950s, and at one point he had enough cars to use a different one every day of the week, adding a Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, a Jaguar E-Type Coupe, and 2 Maserati 3500 GTS. Of the latter, Lamborghini said, "Adolfo Orsi, then the owner of Maserati, was a man I had a lot of respect for. He had started life as a poor boy, like myself. But I did not like his cars much. They felt heavy and did not really go very fast." In 1958, Lamborghini traveled to Maranello to buy a Ferrari 250 GT, a 2-seat coupe with a body designed by coach builder Pininfarina. He went on to own several more over the years, including a Scaglietti-designed 250 GT SWB Berlinetta and a 250 GT 2+2 4-seater. Lamborghini thought Ferrari's cars were good, but too noisy and rough to be proper road cars. He categorized them as repurposed track cars with poorly built interiors. Lamborghini found that Ferrari's cars were equipped with inferior clutches, and required continuous trips to Maranello for rebuilds. Technicians would secret the car away for several hours to perform the work, much to Lamborghini's annoyance. He had previously expressed dissatisfaction with Ferrari's after-sales service, which he perceived to be substandard. Lamborghini brought his misgivings to Enzo Ferrari's attention, but was dismissed by Ferrari. After successfully modifying one of his personally owned Ferrari 250 GTS to outperform stock models, Lamborghini gained the impetus to pursue an automobile manufacturing venture of his own, aiming to create the perfect touring car that he felt no one could build for him. Lamborghini believed that a Grand Tourer should have attributes that were lacking in Ferrari's offerings, namely high performance without compromising tractability, ride quality, and interior appointments. A clever businessman, Lamborghini also knew that he could make triple the profit if the components used in his tractors were installed in a high-performance exotic car instead. Automobili Lamborghini. Departure from Machina Lamborghini. During the 1970s, Ferruccio Lamborghini's companies began to run into financial difficulties. In 1971, Lamborghini Trottery, which exported around half of its production of tractors, ran into trouble when its South African importer cancelled all its orders. In Bolivia, the new military government, which had recently staged a successful coup d'état, cancelled a large order of tractors that was being prepared for shipment in Genoa. Trattori's unionized employees could not be laid off, putting immense strain on the company. In 1972, Lamborghini sold his entire holding in the company to rival tractor builder SAME. Soon, the entire Lamborghini group found itself in financial trouble. Development at the automaker slowed as costs were cut. Ferruccio Lamborghini began courting buyers for Automobili and Trattori, entering negotiations with Georges Henri Rossetti, a wealthy Swiss businessman and friend. Ferruccio sold Rossetti 51% of the company for US $600,000, thereby relinquishing control of the automaker he had founded. He continued to work at the Sant'Agata factory. Rossetti rarely involved himself in Automobili's affairs. The situation did not improve. The 1973 oil crisis plagued sales of high-performance cars of manufacturers from around the world. Consumers flocked to smaller, more practical modes of transportation with better fuel economy. By 1974, Ferruccio had become disenchanted with his car business. He severed all connections with the cars that bore his name, selling his remaining 49% stake in the automaker. The shares were acquired by René Limer, a friend of Georges Henri Rossetti. After departing the automobile manufacturing business, Lamborghini continued his business activities in other areas, including his heating and air conditioning company, Lamborghini Calor. In 1969, he founded Lamborghini Aerodinamica S.p.A., a manufacturer of hydraulic valves and equipment. Later life. In 1974, Lamborghini exited the industrial world and retired to a 3 square kilometers 740 acres estate named Louisiana Fiorita on the shores of Lake Trasimeno, in Castiglione del Lago, a town in the Umbria region of central Italy. Returning to his farming roots, Lamborghini delighted in hunting and producing his own wines. Lamborghini even designed his own golf course, all the while continuing to manage several business interests. Lamborghini fathered a child, Patrizia, at age 58. At 76 years of age, on February 20, 1993, Lamborghini died at Silvestrini Hospital in Perugia after suffering a heart attack 15 days earlier. Lamborghini is buried at the cemetery of Rinazzo. Lamborghini's fascination with bullfighting. The world of bullfighting is a key part of Lamborghini's identity. In 1962, Ferruccio Lamborghini visited the Seville ranch of Don Eduardo Miura, a renowned breeder of Spanish fighting bulls. Lamborghini, a tourist himself, was so impressed by the majestic Miura animals that he decided to adopt a raging bull as the emblem for the auto company he would soon found. After producing 2 cars with alphanumeric designations, Lamborghini once again turned to the bull breeder for inspiration. Don Eduardo was filled with pride when he learned that Ferruccio had named a car for his family and their line of bulls. The 4th Miura to be produced was unveiled to him at his ranch in Seville. The car manufacturer would continue to draw upon the bullfighting connection in future years. The Iloro was named for the Miura bull that killed the famed bullfighter Manolete in 1947. Espada is the Spanish word for sword, sometimes used to refer to the bullfighter himself. The Jeremias name carried a special double meaning, intended to refer only to the historic bullfighting region in Spain. Ferruccio was concerned about confusion with the also historic Jerema motor racing track. After naming the Araco after a bull breed, in 1974, Lamborghini broke from tradition, naming the Countach not for a bull, but for Contassi, a Piedmontese exclamation of astonishment. Legend has it that Nuccio Bertone uttered the word in surprise when he first laid eyes on the Countach prototype, Project 112. The LM002 sport utility vehicle and the Silhouette were other exceptions to the tradition. The Jalpa of 1982 was named after a bull breed, Diablo, after the Duke of Veragua's ferocious bull famous for fighting an epic battle against El Chicaro in Madrid in 1869. Even after Ferruccio's death the tradition was maintained. Murcielago, the legendary bull who survived 28 sword strokes and whose life was spared by El Lagartijo for his performance in 1879, Gallardo, named after one of the 5 ancestral castes of the Spanish fighting bull breed, and Reventon, the bull that defeated young Mexican torero Felix Guzman in 1943. The estoque concept of 2008 was named after the estoque, the sword traditionally used by matadors during bullfights, while the replacement for the Murcielago, the Aventador unveiled in 2011 was named after a bull that was bred by the sons of Don Celestino Quadrivides. This bull was killed in a particularly gruesome fight, where after the bull was killed, its left ear was cut off and given to the matador as a token of good luck. Legacy. All of Ferruccio Lamborghini's companies continue to operate today in one form or another. His son, Tonino, designs a collection of clothing and accessories under the Tonino Lamborghini brand, as well as designing the Town Life, an electric microcar which was revealed at the Bologna Motor Show in 1999. Ferruccio's daughter, Patrizia Lamborghini, runs the Lamborghini winery on his Umbria estate. In 1995 Ferruccio's son Tonino opened a museum that honors Lamborghini's legacy, the Centro Studi Ricerche Ferruccio Lamborghini in Dasso Ferrara, which was moved to Argelato Bologna in 2014 with the new name Ferruccio Lamborghini Museum.